Well, welcome to the campus here at the Christian School at Castle Hills, where we've been changing our world by changing young lives since 1961. Preschool, 6 weeks old, all the way up to seniors in high school and everything in between. And if you're considering a change in your child's education for the year ahead, Castle Hills might be a place for you. In Psalm 127, God said through David, "Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it." And I just want to say today that the real focus of this school family is to build foundations in the lives of kids for successful lives. I'll have the opportunity to share with you in just a moment some of the results that have taken place in the lives of boys and girls and teens who've grown up and gotten the Castle Hills experience. Let me also today share with you two things that might be helpful in considering making one of the 2 or 3 most important decisions you'll ever make for your kids, meaning school, where they'll spend 2/3 of the day for 3/4 of the year. So what 2 things might be helpful to you in making a life-changing decision for your child or kids? Well, first, let me share that Castle Hills, for some said, stated, and documented reasons, may be the greatest school in South Texas, as we like to say, maybe the galaxy. But also importantly, in this COVID-19 and soon to be post-COVID-19 season of life, why Castle Hills might likely be the safest school in South Texas, and our goal, the galaxy. Well, let me start with why Castle Hills might be the greatest school in South Texas. Because speaking of the word starting, it all starts with the little people, where school starts. You know, our preschoolers and our preschool early childhood program has been recognized as the best academic head start for early childhood education in our region. Our days are filled with the 3 L's, loving, laughing, and learning. This intentional, developmental, early ed approach to laying a foundations for kids to have an over-the-top success by the time they get to kindergarten, all while putting Jesus and the Bible right in the absolute middle of everything all day long. Simply put, our early childhood education program, our Little Eagles preschool, is just simply like none other. It starts with the little people, but it ends with the graduates. Notably, 85% of the graduates of kids who've grown up here in the school have been academically scholarship to college or university. I just don't know of another place that meets that benchmark. The average scholarship of our high school seniors this past year was over $95,000 per graduate. Our vision is to graduate servant leaders, and we actually do that. Today, there are 1,000 graduates who dot the globe, serving as we speak in the United States Congress, the state legislature, the young woman who argued the Hobby Lobby case before the Supreme Court a few years ago and won, incidentally, first religious liberties case won before the Supreme Court in a generation, college presidents, entrepreneurs, CEOs, published authors, K-Love recording artists, leaders and pace setters in medicine, engineering, piles of engineers, law, architecture, business, banking, pastors, missionaries who surround the globe on every continent except Antarctica, and teachers, tons of teachers, many of them who come back to teach on this campus to do what was done for them as they grew up here at Castle Hills. You see, the weight of the lives of young men and women who graduate from Castle Hills, the excellence and the achievement that follows their education here at Castle Hills does not happen by accident. Only an intentional, relational, visionary, and foundational plan can produce the results in the lives of children and teens like we've seen in Eagle graduates. So let me just quickly answer a question that we get asked often. Why is this working? Well, three things real quick. First, and I can't say enough about why this matters, God is at work in the lives of the kids. I'm in a palpable way, not perfect kids, but it's unbelievable the way that God's hand is engaged and involved in the lives of young people on this campus. The priority that's placed there, our mission is to lead kids to know Christ and to make him known. Second, the right people are standing at the front of the room. I often say I'm not qualified to carry the hat of most of the people that work for me, and it's honestly and seriously true. Not just their credentials, their years experience, or their advanced degrees, which is unbelievable, but just who they are as people and the way they pour and invest in the lives of others. And then last, leadership, actually servant leadership. We have values that we begin and attitudes that we begin to develop as early as kindergarten and even to some degree in their 4-year-old pre-kindergarten. 5 attitudes that eventually elevate the altitude of each boy and girl on the campus. The first we call the right king, who's large and in charge in your life. The idea of ultimate authority. To be a great leader, you've got to grow up understanding how to be a right follower, and it starts with the Lord Jesus Christ, the right king. The second is respect, the powerful principle of honor. The way a boy or girl relates to and respects their mom or dad matters. And then real hard work is the third attitude. The idea of the Protestant Christian work ethic. We say, I love work, work comes before play, and work is fun. And the incredible culture that you see up and down these halls, that kids are engaged in and actually happy in the work they're given to do. Fourth, responsibility. Every kid on campus here has a job. My middle schoolers pull weeds from time to time along the way through the year. You know, I actually don't need them to pull weeds. I have landscaping people to do that. But everyone on campus has a role or a responsibility. People don't have a healthy identity until they carry responsibility. That's a good thing to carry over at home. First graders ought to make their bed. Second graders ought to take out the trash. And then lastly, the fourth, you'll notice they all start with R. It's alliterated: right king, respect, real hard work, responsibility, and last, real love. You know, to grow up to be a great leader and to make a difference on the world, kids have to be exposed to people who love them and plant those seeds in their life. People don't care how much you know as a leader until they know how much you care. So Castle Hills may well be the greatest school in South Texas for some of those reasons and more. And you'll hear more about it in the tour you're about to get. But it is our intention also for Castle Hills to be not only the greatest school in South Texas, but today the safest school in South Texas. Briefly, let me say today that we have developed a plan, a really over-the-top set of protocols and strategies that we are currently implementing in partnership with 6 other leading large private schools across the state of Texas, called Safe, Smart Schools. In short, we're reinventing the way school is done on campus. 12 health and safety strategies, procedures, and protocols to make this the safest place for kids, hopefully anywhere. And in short, we are maximizing our efforts to minimize the transfer of germs from the common cold all the way up to anything else. You'll hear more about that down the way, and shortly there'll be an informative video on our website that opens the door for you to understand in more practical terms how this Safe, Smart Schools program works. So now you get the talk and the tour. Hope you feel like family and sense how God's Spirit is at work on this old hill. And you're going to be impressed in a number of ways. The 1-to-1 ratio on touchscreen technology for every boy and girl with a laptop issued to them when they come to campus. The amazing success of our award-winning fine arts program, state championship athletic programs and accomplishments. You're going to get to be exposed to an unbelievable college credit engineering program that we have here in partnership with the University of Texas at Austin in the engineering department, the K-12 STEM emphasis, and on and on. But let me just simply say, as we introduce you to the campus, what you're mostly going to be impressed with is that the people you're about to be introduced to, they are difference makers. They are world changers. They shape the hearts of the kids who walk these halls on a daily basis. Next fall, I hope that's your kids, and God bless you.